Now, Embered, you can't do it either. You don't have a Florentine fill. So you would have to use your straight across option, as I've done here. So I highlight that, I go into, I was going to say go into object reshape, I can't go into, so I put the Florentine effect on it, which is this one here, the wavy line. And then flatten that angle a bit, move the end point so that it comes off the end of the flower to get that angle correct, and then go into object details. I like fill 2, you choose whichever fill you like. And even though I choose 0.44, it doesn't mean you've got to have that density. Your machine might like a tighter density. I know my industrial machines will stitch a 0.4 with no problem. My MC10000 doesn't like it. It prefers a slightly looser tension, and that's why I go between 4.3 and 4.5. Depends on what I'm doing. I might use a 4.3 on one design or one particular shape, a 4.4 on a different one like this, and a 4.5 on something else. So it really does depend on what you're digitizing, what you know your fabric is going to be, what effect you're going to use, and your design shape. And I can't tell you what those densities are going to be. You've got to experiment and test stitch. There's nothing replaces test stitching. Absolutely nothing. Nobody can give you a golden rule for density settings, because it all depends on the job in hand, the fabric you've got, the design you're doing, the stabilizer you're going to use, the end product, the machine you're going to use. Now, if you've got an industrial machine and you're going to stitch hundreds of designs on various items, then you need to think about using a tension of about 0.4142. Even go up to 4.3. But if you're using a domestic embroidery machine, you'll find most domestic embroidery machines actually tolerate a slightly looser density and are quite grateful for it. And as you want to keep your machines happy because you want them to last a long time, it pays to give your machine what it likes. Because they're only like children. Give them what they want in small doses and they behave. Insist they do something which they really don't want to do and they create a tantrum. Okay, that's our flower, the top one done. So let's just reduce it. And now I need to carry that down to the one below, because I don't want to have to do a whole pile of colour changes. So I drag a rectangle around it. That highlights all of them. I now go to Edit, Group. That prevents my underlay and my fill separating. I then go to Duplicate. Now, I know that the alignment in my photo handler was just slightly off, even though it insisted it was up the center. So I'm going to move it down first using my arrow keys, because that takes it down the center line. There we go. And now I have to raise it up 1, 2, 3. And take it up one more. 4 up taps on my up arrow because I took it down that bit too far. Now I've got to run a line from where I finished this one down through the middle, down to the start point. And I could do it by eye, but I prefer to do it. Let me just knock this into non-simulated stitch mode till everything stop. Right. I'll fill in the first one quickly, and I'm using my home key and my down arrow key to quickly fill that in. Now I take my finger off my down arrow key and I use my right arrow key. Now I have to start taking it off the right arrow key and doing it tap by tap. Let's just hold it down again for a moment. And I'm going to blow this up so as you can see what happens when I reach the end of this one, and so as I can see as well if I tell the truth. Right, I come down, back up, return, lock stitch. There's the start of my jump. I go back up, forward again 1. That's the end of my lock stitch. And I go and I pick up my run line tool. I drop a node into the center of that digitizing maze. I walk it up, in, straight down the middle, right the way down. I run it around that part, through my petal. Now before I finish it, I continue with my right facing arrow key and I walk that jump down to the end. Now I hope you can see it. Here it is turning up on the white. Let me blow it up a bit more. It's not going to let me. B. Right, now I have to hit my escape button on my mouse. There is my cursor, and there's... no, that's my digitizing maze. This is my cursor. And I continue walking that jump down to there. I mustn't take it any further. And I enter that. And now that jump has gone and it's been replaced with a travel line. So there's no jump between that last petal and the first petal down the bottom. And if I quickly zap through that, And because this isn't a slow redraw, you can't see it. Okay, because I haven't got it on auto scroll. So we've completed the petals on our two flowers. Now I'm going to drop that in scale again. Bring it to the center of my screen. Put it on Stitch Simulator. And there's the design. And we know they're identical because that one is that one. So what I'm going to do now is change my color and work on the heart shape. Or should I have done the heart shape before I brought those down? Oh, fiddlesticks. I'll see you in the next video.